Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is November the 9th, 2021, and today the topic is perspective. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Well, I woke up quite early-ish. It was 3:13 when I woke up, and so I did look a little bit into Bible verses centered around 3:13 because I was up and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I've been up this whole time, ended up doing my prayer meditation, which was good, and I think it kind of led me to the topic today. There might be some things I share with you guys in the after show or whatnot. But let's go ahead and get into the juice, all right? So, the first verse that I read this morning was James 3:13. It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom." So I decided to go deeper, and I ended up reading the entire James 3. And like I said, I think that with the combination of the prayer meditation, which was pretty much centered around Matthew 6:33, which I'll read in its entirety in a moment, but I think the combination of those two things, reading the entire James and reflecting again on the prayer meditation, led me to the topic for today. Well, on one hand, I kind of hesitate to share someone else's testimony, but on the other hand, I guess this would be a way for me to go ahead and shout her out. So let me go ahead and share with you all a little bit about Anchored Phlebotomy Institute. Shout out to my sister. Yesterday started her first day of her second class for her phlebotomy school. Shout out to her and her students. And I guess I was reminded of her this morning. Like I said, the combination of me reading the verse I just read and thinking about the prayer meditation, the verse that was centered around that. Basically, let me go ahead and just share that verse with you. So it's Matthew 6:33. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." So that's kind of that was what my prayer meditation was centered around this morning. And again, the combination led me to the topic for today, partly because, to sort of kind of share her testimony. It really was helping me to see, like, at the end of the day, God is in control, and we have to change our perspective of what he's doing. And I say that, for example, if I share a little bit of her testimony, I know that she worked at a school or whatnot, and she was, I guess, looking forward to, taking on a certain position at the school and all of this. However, obviously it discouraged her, right? When she didn't get a position, it discouraged her. And sometimes even so much so where it's like you're looking at the physical people and you're looking at the physical situation and you're like, perhaps there's some type of injustice happening here. The reason why I didn't get the position. But at the end of the day, God saw her as a school owner and not only a teacher. And so now she has an Anchored Phlebotomy Institute, her phlebotomy school. And so again, it's just one of those things that, again, shows perspective. Like, if she had, obviously, God's perspective, then she would have understood that the situation she went through wasn't a setback, but a setup, as they say. And I mean, I've been through that as well, to share my own testimony that I can go a little bit more in depth with. It's happened several times in my life, honestly. One of the things that crossed my mind this morning was my my transition back to Georgia. Those of you all that know my testimony and know my story, y'all know that I lived in Florida for a good 5 years, had steady income, all of that, had my own place, all of these different things. As a young single woman, that was my cultivation period, y'all. The cultivation period, y'all already know. A lot of the things in that book were things that I was thinking and praying about during that time. And so, and again, you all know that my book is centered around, me being a single Christian woman and desiring love and marriage and all those things. However, right, one of the last things that was on my mind at that time was to come back home to Georgia. And not to say it's just when you're on your own, right, and you've lived on your own, and you want to continue to, thrive and do what you can and whatnot. When I felt the transition happening, it just never crossed my mind to come back to Georgia. Like, it was like, okay, well, find another way, find another job, whatever the case was to maintain, I guess, the lifestyle that I was living. However, but all the while praying about being a wife, right? Praying about, this time in my life, which those of you all, again, that know my testimony know that I met my husband here in Georgia. So if I was still in Florida, how would we have met, and all those different things. But again, it's one of those things where it's like God knew the bigger picture. Me going through the situation, it wasn't necessarily, again, on my radar. Was not my first thought at all to move back to Georgia. And when I did ended up moving back, I felt some way. I mean, I saw things happening and I was able to get some things established, like my business and everything like that. But it still wasn't like the best feeling to feel like, man, I'm coming back home or I'm coming back to Georgia or whatever the case is. However, seeing what God has done in my life since then, again, has given me a better perspective. It's helped me to see, okay, I see what the bigger picture here was. Like, I had to come back to Georgia because at the end of the day, that's how we met. Now NJ's here and just all the things that have flourished since then. So many more people and whatnot that I've met along the way as well. So, yeah, like sometimes, right, at the end of the day, we need to focus more so on seeking first the kingdom, right, and his righteousness and all those things, rather than focused on the things of this world. It was interesting. It's so interesting, like what people comment on, especially when it comes to these things I share on social media, because I share a lot of stuff, especially on GSL, on Actress Miracle Sims, I share a lot of different things, encouragement, quotes, obviously about my business endeavors, all kinds of things. But the most random stuff gets random commentary, and it's very interesting. So for someone felt the need to tell me that apparently, a minister or, a gentleman that I posted that was sharing some wisdom, they wanted to discredit him and whatnot. Because they feel as if the prophecies that he made was not, didn't get fulfilled or whatever the case is, excluding the fact that God works on his own timing. Just because something didn't happen in the time frame that you think it should have happened, don't mean it's not going to happen, and so who are you to say that the prophecy wasn't fulfilled, just because it didn't happen again in the time frame, that we think or whatever. Or just because at the end of the day, for me, it seems as if maybe you're not even fully aware of everything going on. Like we all have a limited, right, perspective. So anyway, I mean, again, this can go on and on and on. There's several examples of, us needed to changing, us need to change our perspective. There's several examples of us needing to adapt God's perspective, seek wisdom in that area to get his perspective on things, and everything like that. So that's what was the inspiration today. Those are some of the things that came across my mind. But hey, here's some more Bible for you. Colossians 3:2, it says, set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Very clear. Very clear instruction there. 2 Corinthians 4:18, as we look not on the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. Whew. Keep on going, y'all. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. So, those are the verses that I'm having to share, or that I came across this morning that I felt the need to share with you all here in this platform of the juice. However, there's very... There's much wisdom in the Go Deeper section. Hopefully enough to encourage and inspire us to, lean and depend on God, seek his kingdom first, allow him to do what he's doing in our lives and change our perspective of time, of all these things. Because at the end of the day, he's the author here. He's the planner. He's the potter. He's the one in control. And so what we have to do is just, again, live day by day, as the word says, and trust him that, he has everything under control. Like, yes, there is so much going on. Yes, there is much to be concerned about and all those different things. However, are we going to trust God or not? At the end of the day, like, I think that's what it boils down to. At least in my humble opinion, are we going to trust God or not? Are we going to seek his kingdom, do the things that he has created us to do? Or are we going to be worrying and fretting about the things of this life and this world and all that? I don't know, y'all, but hey, that's the juice. I hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired by that. But the Bible verse of today is Ephesians 3:20. It says, now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.